What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jerome, and I'm coming to you tonight with a review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 11. I think this is episode 7. If not, I will correct it when I upload the video. And it's titled Sisterhood of the Traveling Peaches. So without further ado, we are going to start with the video. Alright, so we start the episode with Portia. Man, I look like Finding Waldo with this thing on. And if you guys look, if it looks like I'm sweating, which I really am, because this ring light that I got, this shit is really fucking hot. So a motherfucker is burning up right about now, which I'm gonna get a fan at some point, because the fan is in my room, which is where I'm filming. It doesn't spin as much as fast as I would like it to, so I'm gonna have to buy a box fan to cool my black ass off. So like I said, Portia, she started the episode. So we see Portia, she is going over to Dennis's internet, what is it called? Whatever it's called. It's his hot dog place, which I was on Instagram a few weeks ago, and you know, she posted it, and I went and looked at his menu, and I saw the food, and I'm like, okay, that shit, it look actually good. So the next time I am down there in Atlanta, that is a place that I'm gonna check out, as well as the old lady gang. So like I said, Portia goes there. She went there, I guess, to just see him for the day, but Mama Gina had other plans for Portia. Portia put on her, one of his work outfits, and Portia went to work. Well, what she calls work, because that really, I didn't see Portia do much of anything, but whatever, A for effort. So then, she and his mama take a break, and his mama's like, "Is there anything that you guys need to tell me?" And I'm like, "Well, hell, there's a lot that she needs to tell you." The number one thing is she's pregnant by your son, but Portia decided not to tell her that, which I'm like, okay. If you want to keep it a secret, I mean, I guess because Portia's only, I guess at this point maybe she was a few weeks pregnant, so I mean, I understand why she didn't tell her. And then his mama asked him once again about this prenup, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, yes, your son got a restaurant, but Portia's really the draw with that relationship, because she's on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she is on the Ricky Smiley morning show. Like, Portia, I think Portia would be more of the draw than Dennis would be. But Portia says that there is a prenup. When I get to that point, his mama will not be involved with it, which I'm like, thank God, keep her out of it, because it's not any of her business. Like, if Dennis don't want to sign a prenup with Portia, that's on Dennis. If he does, again, it's on Dennis and Portia, not Dennis, Portia, and Mama Gina. I think she should just mind her business, and if her son is happy, let all be. All right, and then we move over to Cynthia. So she's at Lake Bailey, and she's on FaceTime. When she came onto the screen, I thought she was FaceTiming Mike, is that his name? I've been saying Mike or Mark for the last few weeks, but I think his name is Mike Hill. Can't be, I'm not positive, but I think I put in my notes Mike. But again, I'm not 100% certain that that's that guy's name. Correct me if I am wrong. So she wasn't FaceTiming him, she was FaceTiming Nene. And the reason why she was FaceTiming Nene is because, everybody is getting ready for the couples trip. So Cynthia FaceTimed Nene to tell her basically Mark, whatever his name is. He was happy to come to the couples event, but long story short, he's not going to be able to make it to the couples event. So then, Nene's like, well, since he's not going to be able to come, I did find this place in Destin. And, it has bunk beds in there, so that's where you'll be sleeping at. I'm like, oh shit, here we go with these room situations. Because we all know how Candy is about her room. Like, she wants when she sets her eyes on a room, that's the room that she wants. And I'm like, oh shit. We've been had the same bullshit that we have every season with these girls when it comes to the fucking rooms. Like, oh, that is so annoying when it comes to these girls. Like, the rooms. Like, I feel like the host, whoever put the trip together, should get the best room. And that's where I disagree with Candy. Like, I get Candy wants the nicest room, but you should always give the host the opportunity to pick their room, instead of you just running your ass to a room and saying this is my room because it's the best room in the house. Like, at least give the host the opportunity to pick out whatever room they want, and then from there you guys can fight for whatever room you're gonna fight for. So whatever when it comes to that situation. All right, so then we move over to Shamari. So Shamari is getting ready for this trip to Destin, which at this time is still a couples trip. And Shamari's stylist comes out, and I'm like, Shamari got a motherfucking stylist. Like, no, the fuck she don't. Not looking like she just came out of 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 04, 05, 06, and '07. Like, no, Shamari, you did not have a stylist. Like, what in the entire fuck? So then, Ronnie comes into the room, and I think we are starting to see the progression of messy Ronnie at this point because, he was talking about how at the couples party, how, he had a good time and it was good to see some of the other couples again. But then this is where messy Ronnie came in and, he asked Shamar, like, what's going on between you and Portia? And Shamar's like, I don't really know what's going on between me and Portia. When she came into the party, she spoke to everybody else and she gave everybody else a hug, but she didn't say nothing to me. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, I know Shamar is not going to sit here and harp on Portia not giving her a hug. Excuse me. Like, I know she's not going to sit here and harp on the fact that the girl didn't give her a hug, then speak to her like, shit, it could have been a numerous amount of reasons why that girl didn't speak to you. She could have, I ain't going to say she didn't see you because, you were clearly sitting right there. So, can't say she didn't see you, but there's other reasons why the girl didn't speak to you. What they are, I don't know, but there could have been other reasons. Oh shit, now I got the fucking hiccups. And then Ronnie has the bright idea that, instead of letting things fester with Portia, why not just attack it head on? I'm like, oh my God, Ronnie, you are turning into Peter 2.0. Like, I already see it. Like, I'm stuck because true enough, he is right. You don't let something fester, you bring it up immediately. But in this case, I could have, and I'm going back to a few episodes ago when Shamari and Candy were talking, when Shamari said that Portia shaded her about when they were at Cynthia's Bailey Q, and I'm clearly reminded that not Cynthia, but Candy said that Eva was the one who shaded her. So I don't know why Shamari is so deep invested in this. All you gotta say to the Portia is like, hey girl, we were at the couples party and you spoke to everybody else, but you didn't speak to me. Like, did I do something to you? Is there something wrong? Like, just tell me what's up. But the way that Ronnie was talking, that's nipping it in the bud. But the way Ronnie was talking about it is just like, bring it. For me, it felt like he was kind of trying to make a moment or something. Like, that's just the vibe that I was getting. Like, first of all, I think this is something that's all in Shamari's head, so I don't think that she should go too deep into that, but whatever. Like, I don't think it was that serious, to be quite honest with you, because your style is lacking. I think everybody so far has said you look like you were thrown up out of the early 2000s, so whatever. All right, so then we see Candy. So Candy is packing for the trip as well, and she's talking to Riley. So she's telling Riley that, this is a couple's trip, but she's going to be on the trip minus the couple because it is Todd's birthday that week that they're going to Destin. And he always takes a trip and he goes out of town for his birthday. So she's going, but Todd is not going. And then, Riley is going in on Candy because, she said, well, it's a couple's trip. So if you going and Todd not going, that means it's a singles trip. And you could take me on the trip. And, I agree with what Riley said, because thinking back to now, we know Candy's is going solo and Cynthia's going solo. So I'm like, technically, this is not a couple trip at this point anymore. It's a couple/singles trip. So it's kind of like Married to Medicine with the couples trip. All the couples were there. You had, I'm not even going to go down the list of them. You had all the couples there, and then you had Quad there. Single is a dollar bill. So it's kind of the same with this situation. So then later on in the episode, we saw where Candy. God, why did I do that? Candy. She is having all the girls meet at her house, and so that they don't have to all drive all the way to Nini's house to leave for Florida. So it's the morning of. So we see her nanny, in the guest house preparing the breakfast for the girls, which is fruit and I guess mimosas. So then we see Portia. She pulls up. Dennis drops her off. So then Portia goes into the house, and there's little Ace. Ace gives her a hug, which I thought that was so cute. Like, and then she's asking him, does he want some fruit? He said, well, she said, do you want some watermelon? And he said yes. And then she asked him something else, and then she said, do you want some pineapples? I think that's what she said. He said no. She said, oh, I was trying to see, make sure you weren't just saying yes to me just to say yes. So then they sit down and they start eating the fruit, and it was really cute. Like, I see that Portia's gonna be a great mother, which I think she's almost due, if I'm not mistaken. I think Portia's almost due. Like, I follow her on Instagram, so I think she's almost due. I'm not like 100% positive. So then we see all the other girls show up. We get Cynthia showing up. We get Shamari showing up. We have Marlo there. We have Tanya. Is her name Tanya or Tanya? Whatever. Then we see Eva. We see Nene. Did I say Marlo? Yeah, I think I said Marlo. But like I said, they're all there. They all having a good time with one another. And this is where we saw Shamari's second look of her in her interview / confessional. Like, that was I was like, oh, that is a good look for Shamari. Like, I loved that look. Like, whoever styled her for that look, she should keep them, because she looked the best that I've saw her so far in this season. So, with the black hair, the black outfit, I'm like, come on, Shamari, like, you look really good in that scene. And then you go back to the actual scene and she's looking like, what the fuck? So, when all the girls get there, Tanya wanted Portia to have a mimosa with her. And Portia's like, oh, no, y'all, I'm on a 2-week cleanse. I'm 2 weeks in. And so she's not going to tell the girls that she's pregnant at this point. But that's not going to last for very much longer, because these girls know how Portia is and that Portia likes to drink. So she's not going to be able to keep this up for much longer. So then once Eva comes in there with them, they sit down and she's talking about her wedding. I think she said it's October 26th, I believe. And, she said she would invite Tanya or Tanya, whichever one her name is. And then, Cynthia's like, well, when you gave me the invite earlier, I wasn't a +1, but now I'm a +1. Can I bring my +1? And I'm so over Cynthia and Mike already. And we are just a few episodes into the season, like, oh my God. Cynthia is like a schoolgirl with her first crush. It's just ridiculous. So then, what else happened? What else happened? Oh, she did say that, she and Mike might be joining her on the wedding, down the aisle. I said, no, Cynthia, no. Let's not do that. Like, God, Cynthia's making herself a little bit too available and too desperate and too thirsty, quite honestly. Like, oh my God. Why? All right, so then we move over to Nene. So we see Nene, she and Greg are at home, and they are talking about this couples trip that there's going on, that they're planning. And Nene's talking about how she want to play some games for the couples trip. And then she was like, what about pillow talk? And I'm like, Greg, fuck no. Do you not remember what happened at the last pillow talk? Oh my God. When Candy said, I will drag that bitch. And then Kenya's assistant Brandon getting drugged by Apollo. Whoo, that was one hell of a season, especially with Pillow Talk. Oh my God. Like, I will never forget Pillow Talk. I will never forget Pillow Talk. I will never forget Phaedra, Portia, and Candy. I won't forget the shit that happened last season with Barcelona, Sheree, Kim and the Roaches. Kim and the fucking Roaches. Speaking of Kim, like, I was looking on Twitter last week, and somebody posted I don't know if she posted a picture or somebody posted a picture of Kim, but God damn, Kim, leave the plastic surgery alone, because I cannot. When I saw her, I'm like, that is not Kim. And then I looked deep, I'm like, that is Kim. Like the lips, the nose, the face, the wig. Whoo, Kim looks a hot fucking mess. Like, what is her end game? Like, is she gonna solve her whole fucking face at some point? Like, I don't get it with Kim. But like, yeah, Pillow Talk, that was the shit that season. Woo. So while Greg and Nene are talking, They get a call from Portia. So Portia tells Nene that, Dennis, he went playing basketball with Eva's fiance. His name is Michael. And, he hurt his foot, so Dennis is not coming. So now Nene's like, well, shit, should we cancel this since there's technically no couples? The only couples that would have been there would have been, oh God, how awkward would that have been? The only couples that were still in this at that point were Eva and Mike. So I'm not worried about Eva and Mike, Nene and Greg, and Shamari and Ronnie. I would not have been able to watch a couples trip with Shamari and Ronnie being the main focal, because they would be the highlight of the couples trip, because since Candy and Todd wouldn't be there, Dennis and what's her name? Dennis and Portia wouldn't be, oh hell, we forgot about it. What's her name? Tanya and her fiance. So but Tanya ain't really bringing nothing to the show, so I'm excluding Tanya. So then Nene was like, well, damn, we got a couples trip, but no couples. Like, it's 3 guys already out. Technically, it's 4 guys already out, because you got Candy, Todd ain't coming. You got Portia, Dennis ain't coming. You got Cynthia, Mike ain't coming, or Mark. And then you got Marlo, her benefactor, her sugar daddy, her pimp, whatever. He ain't coming, so you got 4 dudes that's out. So stop saying it was 3. It was technically 4 if you include, because you gotta include Marlo. How in the fuck are they gonna include Marlo on a couples trip? What's she gonna do? Bring that random ass white guy again? Like, that shit was so fucking odd and awkward. So technically it was 4 guys if you include, because you gotta include Marlo, because we don't know who the fuck Marlo was gonna bring. So alright, so now we have the ladies. They are leaving for Destin. So this is gonna be a 5-hour trip. Man, they would have to flown me to Destin, because ain't no way in the hell I'm finna sit in the, I don't care if it's a party bus, a bus, or whoever, I'm not sitting there for no 5 hours. Like, we're gonna have to make a pit stop at least 3 times, because there's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to sit in the car for 5 fucking hours. I just couldn't do it. So, Candy comes up with the bright idea for them to play a game of truth or dare. So, they would all write a dare, and they would put it in the bowl, and they would all pick from the bowl. So we had Shamar go first, and Shamar's was like, let the woman next to you, the lady next to you, suck 2 of your fingers. Marlo said, bitch, not me. And then she's like, well, hell, Eva, you the only one that's by me. So, oh God, Eva sucked her fingers, and I'm like, oh, ooh. And she's talking about it made her JJ wet. I'm like, of course, Shamari, I'm not surprised that it made your JJ wet. But, ew, ooh. So then Eva pulls a dare, and it says to call your boo and talk dirty to him. Eva must not know what dirty talk is, because what Eva was saying was borderline 50 Shades of Grey, dry sex. Actually, no sex whatsoever. It was just dry. And I'm like, oh my God, Eva, you are drier than the Sahara Desert, because that didn't even do anything. Like Portia said, it didn't do anything to her. It sure the hell did nothing to me. I'm just like, are we done, Eva? Are we done? Like, you could have said, hey, daddy, hey, big daddy, when I get home, I want you to be naked, and I'm going to get down on my knees, and I'm going to put it all in my mouth. Like, you could have said something like that. Like, anything. So then Candy, she pulls a dare, and Candy's dare was, to FaceTime your boo and show him your your titties. Well, Candy didn't want to do that. I know Candy got her breasts done, so Nene and them gave her a pass and said, okay, how about you call him and do what Eva was supposed to do and talk dirty to him. Why they do that? Because Candy, she stepped up to the plate. So she calls Todd and she told Todd that she was thinking about him. And then she's like, I like the way you eat it from the back. Is that what she said? Yeah, she likes the way he eat it from the back. And I was like, well, damn. Don't surprise me when it comes to Candy, but damn. So then Todd's like, baby, have you been drinking? That kind of run the move right there. And she, they all got a good giggle out of it. So then next is Portia. So the question, Portia decided to pick truth instead of dare. So Candy's like, well, Nene, you ask her the question. So then Nene asked her the question, has Dennis dated anybody on this bus, or does anyone on this bus know someone that he's dated with, which bitch, you knew that. Like, why you gotta be shady? Why you gotta be so shady? But Portia answered the question. She said, well, Candy said that she knows someone that he dated. So then they asked a question, she said, yeah, I do know someone that dated him recently. And then they were like, well, how recent is recent? Within the last 6 months? And she said, yeah, they were dating up until she found out that he was dating Portia. And then, and then Portia says, they have been in a monogamous relationship with each other. And then Candy's like, well, I saw you at Shamia's party with another dude, so it wasn't Dennis. And Portia was like, what did Portia say? I forgot what Portia said. Did she answer that question? Oh, yeah, she said did she say that they had been off and on? Which, I love Portia. Portia is like my favorite of all the girls. I don't care what nobody say. I love Portia. And I follow Portia on Instagram. And I do remember when Shamia had her birthday party. Because I saw, it was back in May. And I was looking at Portia's, because this was after the reunion had aired, I believe. Or, I don't forget when this happened. But I do remember going on my Instagram. And she was on my feed. And I saw her with the dude. They blurred his face out on the camera on TV. But I do remember seeing that picture. And I do remember seeing that dude with her. Because I remember seeing her assistant with her as well. So I definitely do remember all of that. So, if Portia was with somebody else before Dennis or after Dennis, who cares? Like, and Portia said that at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? I just want Candy to stop making it such a big fucking deal. So then, somebody asked the question. I don't know if I'm behind or what, but somebody asked a question about the room situation. So to be fair, Nene has the girls pick numbers out of the bowl, which I think this was before they even started playing the game. But she says, so you all pick these numbers, hold on to them, and then we'll play the game once we get to the house. So fast forward to them getting to the house. They finally make it to the house. So Nene tells them, hey, go look at the rooms. Take a good look at them. You're not picking a room yet. So, just look at them. Take a look at them. So they look at all the rooms. And, so then they go back downstairs. So each girl picked a certain number. So whoever was number 1 went, whoever was number 2 went, pulled from the bowl 3, and so on and so forth. So, all the girls pick a person's name. So they all give each, whoever got whose name, they picked what room they stayed in. So they all picked good rooms for each other, which, with the exception of Marlo, a shady ass, she gave Tanya the room with the bunk beds. And I'm like, bitch, you could have took that bunk bed, but bougie ass Marlo wouldn't do it. I thought somebody was going to actually give the bunk beds to Candy because actually, well, Tanya got Candy's name, but Tanya got picked by Marlo after because it would have been a good joke to just say, hey, Candy, you sleep in the bunk beds. Like, that would have been funny to me. Because, Candy always talks about getting the best room in the house. That would have been funny, like, to give her the worst room in the house. But, it is what it is. And Tanya took it in strides. She took it like a good sport. So, that was cool. So, then we see the girls, they go downstairs to eat. And then, Cynthia's old messy ass, she gonna ask Eva about her bachelorette party because none of them went to the bachelorette party. So then they go into Portia says, well, Eva invited me, but Eva said that it was a surprise to her, so she didn't know anything about it. But then she said that there were some people there who she didn't know were coming. I didn't really understand what Eva was saying because it was kind of like Ring Around the Rosie, back and forth. It just didn't make sense to me what she was saying. And then, but Cynthia and Marlo were just kind of questioning why she invited Portia, but she didn't invite Nene. And, oh my God, like, she didn't have to if she doesn't want to. Like, that is her bachelorette party. If she don't want Nene old ass at her bachelorette party, that's her business. That's her prerogative. Why the fuck are y'all so worried about why she didn't invite Nene? Like, oh my God. And then Eva gave him this explanation about why she didn't do that. She felt like she would be busy or whatever. I don't give a fuck, to be quite honest with you. It's not their business. If she wants to invite Portia because Portia is within her age range, a lot of fun, then let her do that. Like, who gives a fuck who she invited? That is not y'all's business, not y'all place. Like, I just don't understand that shit. And then, they talking about, well, you said Nini's like a big sister to you, and y'all talk every day. She said, no. And she and Nini both said, no, we don't talk every day. And, Eva was like, I call Maxine Waters Auntie Maxine, just like I call Nini my big sister. She says, I don't have any biological sisters. So, typically when she's in a group of women, she considers them sisters to her. And I was like, why are y'all making such a big fucking deal about this? Like, what the fuck? So, they let that go. And then, Portia's like, so is that all we got to bring to this big ass table? And Shamari had to say, nope, that's not it. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go with Shamari. Shamari. Oh God. So, so Shamari says, when we were at the couples party, you hugged and spoke to everybody else but me. Portia's like, I didn't want to speak to you. I wasn't feeling you that day. I'm like, oh, she wasn't feeling you that day. And she tells us why she wasn't feeling her that day, because she heard that Shamari had been talking about her. And, she was like, yeah, I did, because you shaded me at the Bailey Q. And I'm so happy Bravo does that with these shows. They do the flashbacks. So basically what it was, Portia, it was for her, she said, it said, bitch stole my look, because Candy and both Shamari had on the red tops with the white pants, and they just had on different color shoes. And it's like, bitch stole my look. Who wore it best? Like, the blogs do it, the magazines do it. Like, I don't know why Shamari got so bent out of shape about a bitch who stole my look. Like, oh my God. And then Candy and everybody else had to tell her, Portia did not shade you. It was Eva who shaded you. And Eva like, I ain't shade her. I don't give a fuck what nobody wears. And then, Portia's like, Eva, you forget your shade. So, Shamari and Portia let it go. Like, I'm so glad that they let that shit die and be done with. Like, it's stupid. Because she said, and then Marlo even had to say, well, your fashions do kind of lack a little bit. So basically that was the end of the episode. Looks like next week's episode we're gonna get some drama between Marlo and Shamari, because so in the trailer we saw when Shamari said, I was an A-list when you were A-list, the way that it was edited, it made it seem like it was Nene that she was talking to, but it was not Nene that she was talking to. She was talking to none other than Marlo, because she called Marlo a bitch, and Marlo said, call me a bitch one more time. And much like Dr. Heavenly from Married to Medicine, she said, your mama a bitch. I'm like, oh my God. Why do everybody always got to bring up the mamas? Like, the mamas ain't done nothing to you. So, like the video, leave your comment, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Love and Hip Hop New York.